You're tall enough, yes. Okay.
So how old is the little one there?
This one here, this one might be, look at that tone, Friends of Satuni, the one that had the leg braces. They're about 4 days apart.
Okay.
Because I don't think our little guy, Upendi, is big as, is this Upendi maybe? No, that's the baby, that's a little guy. I think this
there he is over
right,
there.
don't you think?
Yeah.
And look at
and she also gets that put in the microwave, nice and steamed, so it's a little bit on the softer side for her.
Coming back to that bag.
Good. And then she's also getting some pellets that are made for herbivores in managed care. And we like to soak those as well. So we'll soak them for her to help her chew on those so that she's able to consume those. Now, that's not something that they would get out in Australia. As they got older, they don't have anybody to cook their food for them. So we find that they tend to outlive their cousins. We've been introducing some older ambassadors. But this one as well is a red kangaroo who's on the older side. She's 17 years old. And her name is Ruby. And so you'll see, we saw 2 different forms of locomotion. She does like to come up to people, so we'll just ask that if she does. She's allowed to touch you, but we'll just ask you not to touch her so that she
Don't
stays
pet her,
focused
hon.
with Shannon here.
She
can pet you, but you can't pet
She's
her.
trying, so yeah. Good job. She's very confident.
Yeah, she knows the rules, but nobody's allowed to touch her. But she will definitely touch you. But those, we saw a couple different forms of locomotion. So I don't know if you noticed that she was hopping by. Her hop actually takes less energy than this inchworming, we call it. You see her using her tail and those feet as well. And so their legs are so long that there we go. There's the hop. Their legs are so long that they act as springs, and that's much less energy because
Looks great.
to
Zuri, or to Zuri, not to Zuri.
you reach into rodent holes, and then she has those really large ears. Now, if our ears were the same ratio, our ears would be as big as dinner plates. Huge, right? And so she uses those ears to hear, and she can hear mice underground. So this is one of the similar behaviors we might see if there was something underneath the ground. She says, I know it's there.
You're being sneaky.
So servals have a behavior called a pronk that they will do, and you may have seen this with the servals at the zoo. Basically, they sit back on their haunches, they jump straight into the air, and then they land on their front feet. And this would be to cave in rodent holes, or to land on a rodent that might be running by as well. Ooh, in the park. So not as big of punks as she was in her older age, but she gets something in her house in a while. One of her favorites is definitely eating grass. So being an obligate carnivore, she does eat meat, but grass is always a little tasty thing to chew on every once in a while. Now you'll notice that she has a really short tail compared to, a lot of people see this cat and they think baby cheetah because they look so similar, but very there's a lot of differences on her. We have that short tail as compared to a long tail of a cheetah. That's because she's a specialized jumper, different than that cheetah who's that specialized runner that needs that tail to counterbalance as they're running. And then of course her giant ears and her size. She's full grown, not going to get any bigger. And those big long legs. Now she also has spots and stripes on her body. It looks a little bit different. And on the back of her ears, going back to that black and white, right, that stands out. So a couple different theories behind her ears as well. One is that they're called follow me spots because if Zuri had babies, especially out in Africa, they camouflage so well that babies might lose mom, and so they're 2 big spots to follow, one of the theories. Another theory is that they're false eye spots. So if something larger than her, a large carnivore out in Africa, like a hyena, leopard, lion, lots of different larger carnivores were sneaking up behind her, looks like those big eyes looking back at them. Now, all those predators, they're not going to go out hunting for serval on their menu. But if they came across one, they would definitely take out that competition if they had the chance.
Huh.
Sorry. Any questions? And they are a part of our breeding program. So a couple different different areas that he is important and that his goals are to not only be ambassador, that we're hoping that he inspires others to that was a good one. Inspires others to care about the cannibals in his native cousins, but also to be a part of that SSP. I don't know, has that been brought up yet? SSP, Species Survival Plan. You probably sounds like you've been to the zoo and safari park a lot.
Yeah.
So that Species Survival Plan has paired him and his mate Lala together with those genetics that are different enough that they will help with the genetic diversity and manage care goals. Nice.
Wow.
That was a good one. Do you have any questions so far? I know I just kind of like eventual mate, Lala, is named after the Malala plant as well. So this is Mopani, and he is an African caracal. So from Africa, and it's C-A-R-A-C-A-L. Like I said, still learning, but he is coming along really great, and Annette has a really nice relationship with him. So cats are pretty relationship based. You said you didn't have any pets at home, but you've been around domesticated cats, house cats.
Well, we've had cats before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so really relationship based, right? Even domesticated species.
Yeah.
And they have some similarities, like those nails, but of course a lot larger and longer. And this is the bird catching / eating specialist of Africa. So many things on his body help him be an amazing hunter of birds. So he has those big, giant paws that look kind of like catcher's mitts that you may see him catch this
Wow.
catch this toy with, which is similar to what you would find out in Africa. It looks kind of like a bird. But you can see those jumps, and caracals can jump up to and sometimes over, depending on the individual, about 8 feet up from a sitting or standing position. So he hasn't gotten that high just yet. And he's pretty smart. He knows what goes up must come down. So we've been working on with this lure on trying to get that height with his jumping, and it helps first of all show that natural behavior, and secondly gets out a way to exercise as well. So sometimes we go for walks, and sometimes we jump, sometimes we do both. But being a youngster, he definitely has lots of energy. So you can see on that lure there, he has his giant foot with those big claws that he would use to be able to swat birds out of midair. And we might see another one in just a moment. Annette is working on some training right now.
Our problem is his claw is hooked in the toy. So when he moves his foot, the toy moves.
Yes.
Oh.
And then he's like, oh, I moved. I'm going to go for it.
Yes, if you've ever played with a domesticated cat, they have that instinct to chase, right? And if you try to take something away, of course that's going to spur that instinct to chase it even more, and sometimes can get, we want to make sure it's a trait. It can get to be negative if we're taking something away. So we always want to make everything very positive for Mopani. See if we get another jump here. Now you can see he also has that beautiful tawny coat, and being that tawny color, he would blend in. Just thinking about it. He would blend in pretty well with some brown grasses.
Wow.
Good one. Nice. Good job. Caught his prize. You can see his little teeth in there as well. Not so little, right? So that tawny coat blends in with the brown grasses, but you can see his ears stand out. What Shannon was saying about Harley, right? That black and white really stands out in natural habitat that's usually green or brown. And so being black, other species are able to see that very easily. Right now he's looking, where can I take this? So we have this blanket out, and our eventual goal is to have a place that we can take this that is more obvious. So porcupines are prey animals, and that's what she's going to do to protect herself. She's going to use those quills. So there's actually quite a few different types of quills on her body, and you're going to see all of them from this angle. The first ones I kind of want to point out are the long skinny white ones, that are longer than the rest of her body, those are called guard quills. So if a predator were to sneak up behind Harley, they would actually run into those long skinny white ones first, and that would alert Harley to something behind her, and she would be able to, it's called a skirt, expand all of those quills so that basically her entire body becomes much larger and looks like it's completely covered in quills. And then that will also expose the really sharp pointy ones that she'll use to protect herself. So you can see the black and white striped ones, those are going to be the ones that are going to cause damage. So if that predator didn't get the hint, once she expanded those quills and continued to pursue her, they would run into those really sharp pokey ones, and then Harley actually has the ability to let those quills go and let them out of her body, and they would stay inside that predator. Here, and if you can, get a look at her front teeth. So she has really long, kind of reddish, orange almost looking teeth. Sometimes you can get the view when she's on the biscuit over there. Sometimes it's a little bit hard, but kind of see how she holds her biscuit too, and you can really hear her chomping them down. So it's really important to be able to wear her teeth down because rodents don't have enamel on their teeth, so they grow forever. So our enamel that covers our teeth stops our teeth from growing at a certain point. Rodents don't have that, and that coloration is actually from the iron in their teeth too. So it's really important for them to be able to wear their teeth down, because if they grow too long, they might not be able to open their mouth properly and eat their food. So those biscuits are a really important part of her diet. And she is an herbivore, so she eats a lot of different types of plants. She gets fresh greens, she gets green vegetables like zucchini and carrots. She also loves, and he's an African gray, and I'll bring him a little bit closer in a minute, but what we're doing here is I'm trying to do some yeah, he's cheating. I'm trying to do some color association training with orange with Mongo, and so I've been trying, he understands the concept of putting the rings on the little stands red, but I'm trying to get him to put the right color on the right. Wow. And then what he's figured out to do too is, like, he figures out, because he gets positively reinforced for it, that if I don't remove them, he's figured out to pick the ring back up and put it back down, and then he's like, now I get a treat, right? So they're very, very smart. I'm sure Dan was mentioning how intelligent parrots are. So yeah, they're really good at what's called pairing and associating. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is get him to associate the colors and their meanings. And so can you wave to them? But he is an African gray. He is 32 years old. And have you guys met Mongo before?
No, only in the movies.
Oh, awesome. Well, what Mongo loves to do, African greys are really, really good at mimicking sounds and picking up noises around their environment. And Mongo, living at the safari park, he loves animal noises. Can you do a chicken? Good job. But all the training that we do here, we do try to positively reinforce when we ask. So I'll give him a treat in between. How about a duck? Pretty good, right? And this one's a little bit harder. Can you bark? Can you bark? Good job. And then this animal noise, we'll let him finish his seed first. We'll see if you're familiar with this one. Can you do a wolf? So it's more of a wolf whistle, right? But yeah, he knows a couple other really fun vocals we'll just kind of quickly go through. Can you do bubbles? How about this one? Good. Can you look through? Okay. Can you say hello? Good job. So they're really, really intelligent, right? Do you guys have any questions about Mongo at all so far? Awesome. Well, I do want to share a little bit just about African greys. Actually, we have a really fun, another African grey coming out, and this is actually her Wildlife in Action debut. And Mongo, just a little bit about his life here at the safari park. We're actually trying to pair up Alice and Mongo to live together right now. So that's why she's here, to kind of experience all the other parrots are experiencing. But yeah, so right now that's a big part of his life, is trying to meet Alice, and hopefully they can cohabitate. So of course, parrots are a really social species. And Dan will probably talk a little bit more about, do you want to just jump into Alice?
Sure.
Yeah?
So yeah, Alice has a really cool history. Do you mind if I step in front of you,
go ahead.
Wendy?
Yeah, we're hanging
So
out.
being an ambassador like this and coming up close and personal is definitely very new for her. She's done it throughout the park. This is the first time that she's been here with novel people, so we're really excited about that. Can you say hi? Okay. Now, her background is that she actually lived more as an exhibit ambassador. So she really was kind of out in the park and not necessarily coming out and being handled and working up close and personal with people. So just that transition of getting her to this point has been a big jump. And the main goal for her when she came to our department, just like Shannon was saying, is to be a pair for Mongo, and they've been living close together, and we've been getting them closer and closer together, which we are excited about. But since she's been with us, we said, you know, why don't we give it a whirl and see how she does? And so we've been doing lots of little baby steps with her, but we've been getting her to that point, and she's been doing really well. Kind of like Thea, she definitely takes to training. She loves food, which always helps out as well. But it's just all the different stimulus that we've been getting her used to, which is a big part of being a wildlife ambassador. So that's a little bit about Alice's story. I know Shannon talked to you about African Gray, so I'm just going to take a step back and let her watch you, if that's okay, and turn it on over to Wendy here.
Yeah, this is Mango Margarita. Can you say hello? Good. He's a military macaw. Have you seen Mango before? He has lots of energy. So all parrots have different personalities, just like us. And he's a really, he likes having a lot of energy, and he loves to dance. Good job. They get the name military macaw because in Central and South America, where they're found in their natural habitat, there is a military uniform that's green with a red hat. So it kind of gives you an idea of how he got that name. But he knows many different cues and behaviors. You don't want to do that one? What about, I'm Margarita. Yeah. Do you see his face right now? He's getting really red. So with parrots, that white part of their face, they actually blush when they get excited or nervous. Kind of depends on the situation right now. He's really excited. And so he finally has his turn, huh, buddy? He's 32 years old, and he is a similar age to, how did I not right? He's a similar age to Mongo, and he really likes to do math. You want to see a couple math problems?
Sure.
Okay. 1 plus 2. Yeah. Okay. Great job. What about 1 plus 3? Good job. What about 7 minus 3?
Good.
Can you do it a little louder? 7 minus 3. Yeah, good job.
Nice job. That was better.
Catching on. He's not really doing math, but every time I say 2 and every time I say 3, he comes back with that correct association, or that pairing and associating, and I can make it look like he's doing math. Great job, buddy. Do you have any questions about him so far? Good. No questions?
Do you
Well,
have any questions? No.
no questions? Say no. Oh, that wasn't correct. Right now he's guessing, so he's so excited. Great job that he's doing 2 different things back. Do you have any pets at home?
Her
Any
son,
dogs or cats?
well, we have dogs and cats. Estelle's son and our daughter-in-law have a parrot.
A parrot? Oh, okay. So that you probably have been around a parrot and know then that
Yeah.
intelligence, like she was saying, of a 2 to 3 year old toddler, about 60 to 80 years, really loud. Can you scream? Yeah, pretty loud. And then you'll notice, I mean, with the parrot that you're around, you probably notice the same thing, that they drop a lot of their food. So they'll eat some of their seeds and then they'll drop the rest of it. And out in their natural habitat of this
Confusing. That's okay. Can you wave? Nice job, Thea. So, have you ever seen a sulfur-crested cockatoo before? Is this a bird you're familiar with at all? Okay, awesome. They're from the continent of Australia, in that part of the world, and that's where you're going to find a lot of different cockatoo species. Now, one of the adaptations that cockatoos are known for is that crest on top of their head. So a sulfur-crested cockatoo has their name just because of that, and it's a little confusing because if you look at her crest, it doesn't look sulfury. But if we do crest, and you can see that yellowish coloration, sometimes that word sulfur just also means yellow. So that's kind of where they get that name. But sulfur-crested cockatoos, like Thea, also are going to have that yellowish coloration underneath their cheeks as well. So if you look really closely underneath her eyes, you're going to see that yellowish coloration underneath there. There's one other spot that they are going to have a yellow coloration. It's one of my favorites to show off on Thea, which is under their wings. So you can see those gorgeous
Wow.
wings of her with that yellowish coloration.
Mm.
Now they come in, cockatoos will also come in black coloration, spotted colorations, a lot of different diversity there. And those are all different specific species. Now, as a parrot, highly intelligent, right? You're actually gonna be meeting a few other parrots later on, so I won't get too much into it, but highly intelligent, highly social, and they're really known for those two attributes. So people will have them as pets, but it's a huge responsibility, not only because they are so mentally active and you got to keep their brains very well stimulated with enrichment and with training. Today.
Pretty good.
Good. Are you two from San Diego or are you visiting?
Oceanside.
Oceanside, nice, awesome. Well, my name is Dan, like Shannon was saying. This here is Thea, one of our wildlife ambassadors. She's a sulfur-crested cockatoo. So what we're gonna do in this presentation of Wildlife in Action is we talk a lot about some of the different conservation work happening that's involved with the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, which is us here at the Safari Park and at the zoo in
Faithful companion. So